Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the IR Guys. Today we'll be talking about the AFC South and their off-season, each team, and we'll do some record predictions, and then if there's time at the end, we'll talk a little bit about hockey and the Avalanche, because they just advanced to the next round. So let's start it off with the Houston Texans. The Texans opened their draft by picking quarterback Davis Mills out of Stanford with their first pick in round 3, 67th overall, so because they had traded away their first and second round picks. But this pick is, I hate it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely means that they think Deshaun Watson is probably gone.
Yeah.
But they went out in their offseason and got Ryan Finley. They traded for him. They signed Tyrod Taylor, and they signed
Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll. So they're just like shooting darts at a board here, trying to get a quarterback to hit.
Yeah, I really don't know what they like. Maybe who's their new GM? Is it Nick Cassiero?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is. They do have a new GM, and they're still doing this.
Yeah, and they're still doing stupid. It's like it's really weird because like you think that would have been gone with the firing of Bill O'Brien. Yeah, it was. Doesn't need an explanation there, but yeah, you get a new GM. You're sort of hoping for some new life in your organization, and you go and pick a quarterback with your first pick of the draft because your old GM traded away all your other picks.
And it's not a good quarterback.
And it's a bad quarterback, and there's better players available, and you have bigger needs.
Everywhere. I mean, you're going to be the worst roster in the NFL.
Yeah, if you think that like Deshaun is going to be gone, then you know that you're probably going to be the worst team in the league, and you're going to get the number 1 pick next year. So just wait for that quarterback, but don't take a quarterback in the third round for just no reason.
Start building now.
It's just
the amount of quarterbacks that hit in round 3 is so minuscule. So I mean, if you look even analytically, this is not a value pick in any way.
They better have thought this guy was an absolute star if they picked him here.
Yeah, which I don't. I mean, he's played like 11 games. I can look it up.
He can't know. He can't.
Yeah, he's only played. He started 11 games at Stanford in 4 years because he's almost always hurt, or just like not.
Yeah, he's
playing.
a brute.
There's just like no information on him. I don't know. It's just really weird. He's a good prospect out of high school.
All right, well then they follow that pickup with Nico Collins, wide receiver out of Michigan. Another weird kind of pick.
Yeah, I mean he was on the board that we use for a lot of the draft prospects. He was compared to N'Keal Harry, which just doesn't bode well for his career. I mean, you've seen what N'Keal Harry has done, and it's almost nothing. So
it's also a weird pick when I feel like they're better at receiver than a lot of other places.
Really?
Yeah,
they don't have any receiver.
Well, they got Kiki QT.
No more Will Fuller.
Yeah, Kenny Stills. I mean, they don't.
That's not their.
You're not going to get
need.
a helpful receiver. Yeah, I know it's a need, but it's not a huge one.
You need.
And this guy's not going to fill it either.
Kind of. They signed like 40 running backs.
This guy's not good enough to even go in there and start.
Yeah. You needed. I don't know. Everything on defense, pretty much.
Yeah.
They could have got Patrick Jones the second pick after.
Yeah. It's just so it's like and he's not that good too because he's just sort of a.
It looks like
Jump
he's
ball.
just big.
Yeah, he's huge.
But his ball skills aren't great. So like he's just sort of carried himself that far because he's of his size. He's 6'4". 6'4", 222. So he's really big for a receiver, and that's kind of all there is to say about him that I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a weird pick.
Then they don't have a 4th round pick, so they've been without a number 1, a number 2, and number 4. Yikes!
God.
Bill O'Brien damned this franchise.
It's really.
Do they have
pretty
a first
wild.
next year?
I think yes, they do.
Okay,
I
they didn't last year.
Yeah, they didn't. It's just.
They might not have a second next year.
For Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
I'll look it up if you want to keep talking.
All right, and then so with their next pick, it's in the 5th round. They select tight end Brevin Jordan out of Miami. That's a great value pick in my opinion because I thought Brevin Jordan was going to be taken probably round 3, not round 5, so it's great value.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably the only pick in the Texans draft that I think is a good pick.
And it's definitely a need. I mean, their current tight end depth is Jordan Akins, who's okay, but is a little bit overrated, Cahill Waring, and Farrell Brown. So guys that wouldn't make most rosters, but are, second string on the Texans. So I think Brevin Jordan's going to be a good starter. That, if you get him a good starter in the 5th, I mean, it also, the rest of your starters suck. So if that really counts, but you're still getting a good player in the 5th, which is not a huge problem.
Good pick.
Yeah. All right. So their next pick was Garrett Wallow, who was a linebacker out of TCU. Any thoughts on this one?
He's a little undersized.
Did they lose Whitney Merciless, or did they extend him? I don't remember.
They still have Whitney Merciless, and Christian Kirksey is their linebacker duo, and Zach Cunningham, who could be good.
So why are they?
You don't need a linebacker.
I know, that's another head scratcher right there.
You need, I don't know, a pass rush.
Yeah, maybe they plan on moving him to edge or something. I don't know. That's crazy.
You need offensive linemen. You need just anything.
Secondary.
Their whole roster's just awful.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Garrett Wallow pick. They don't have any linebacker corps besides Zach Cunningham.
And Whitney Merciless. You don't think he's good?
What?
Christian Kirksey too.
Yeah, Christian Kirksey's solid. You don't think Whitney Merciless is a good linebacker?
Is he on that? And I don't think he is.
Is he on the Texans?
He's on there. I have their depth chart pulled up right now. They might. He might be on the majority. The other thing is the majority of these Texans players, they signed a bunch of free agents.
Yeah.
And we'll get into free agency later, but
they're all on 1 and 2 year deals.
Exactly. They're really short term. So basically, players are going there because they couldn't get the money they wanted elsewhere for a year, hoping to just get out.
Yeah.
So
it's just
even next year,
that franchise is screwed.
Yeah, it's going to be a good 5 years before they even have a
chance of making the playoffs.
Exactly.
That sucks for them.
Yeah.
For those fans.
It's really
like in the Broncos.
Really bad.
No, not even. I don't think the Broncos were this bad.
Oh no. We had
not even close.
We had pieces. Yeah. They have no pieces.
There's no promise.
Except for Deshaun, but
that's that's in jeopardy. But other than Deshaun, there's nothing of promise about any part of their franchise. Yeah.
Philip Lindsay.
No.
Yeah, he's on 1 year though.
Yeah, and
Colorado.
he's an aging running back. Nothing of promise.
He's not aging.
Yeah, he is.
He's 25. I don't know if he's aging.
I feel like he's 27 or something.
I don't know, but I feel like he's still got a couple years.
Well,
but
that's old for a running back.
The main thing with him
26.
is he's on a 1 year, so he doesn't want to be there for very long, regardless.
Yeah. All right, so this draft, what do you grade it?
I give it a C minus.
I'd give it a D.
Yeah,
it honestly would be an F, but Brevin Jordan brings it up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna do. D for the same reason. It's a terrible draft.
Oh, they also got a guy named Roy Lopez in the 6th round, but he's kind of a
Ryan Lopez.
It's Roy.
He's from New Mexico State. He's not
Ryan Roy Lopez.
Okay.
Not true.
It is.
Just to put that on the record.
He's basically a undrafted free agent level guy.
Yeah.
So there's not much to say. So that'll I'll stick with my D.
Yeah, I'm with the D.
The draft.
Are there any UDFAs you like?
Not really. So I was reading a Texans, one of those fan-sided, Texans beat writer sites, and they drafted they signed a center named Ryan McCollum out of Texas A&M, and the guy just hates him, and it was pretty funny because he was like, "This is one of the worst undrafted free agent signings I've ever seen."
He was triggered by an undrafted free agent signing.
Yeah, and he's a center, and he actually didn't look that bad. I don't know what the deal was, but I'm gonna trust that guy and just say and maybe it's just Texans fans being bitter because they have every reason to be bitter without literally anything. But yeah, it was just kind of funny because I was really, but I don't really know much about him. Then they signed another Texas A&M lineman named Carson Green, and I actually like him. I think that could be a decent signing, if he doesn't start, because again, there's a decent chance that he starts. not necessarily, but their current offensive line is god awful. So
Yeah, maybe
he could start. That
right
doesn't
guard.
necessarily mean he's good, but like you could end up getting a fairly decent player in that, or he's going to be a good depth guy. So I actually like that one. And then they got 2 more receivers, because why not? And Marlon Williams out of UCF, who I know a lot of people thought was at least draftable, so maybe good value there. And then another receiver named Damon Hazelton, who's very similar to Nico Collins in that he's not great with like ball skills and route running and such, but he's just kind of big. So I don't know. It makes the Nico Collins pick look worse.
Yeah, connection I just thought of is Nick Casario was probably in New England when they drafted N'Keal Harry.
Actually, he was, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
so
a good point.
this Nico Collins pick's kind of similar. That little connection there.
He's just gonna keep doing it until it
Yeah.
works out, I guess. I don't know. We
Yeah.
just didn't waste a first round on it this time.
Yeah. Any notable free agent signings, Nick?
Yeah, they had a big free agency.
Yeah, who'd they bring in?
Well, I'll tell you who they left out, and that would be J.J. Watt.
Oh, they
Went to
did
the
leave
Cardinals.
out. They did leave
That's
out JJ.
huge. They decided to re-sign David Johnson. Interesting. They lost Nick Martin. They got Shaq Lawson.
That's a good
It's
signing.
not bad, yeah. Was that a 1 year or 2 year?
Why would he want to go there? Jeez.
I think that's a 3-year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy. He
that's a
locked
good
himself
signing,
up
then.
in there.
Fair enough.
And then they lost Benardrick McKinney.
Okay.
And they got Marcus Cannon.
It's not bad.
So they got a tackle.
Yeah.
I like
Okay, so
that.
they got Tunsil and Cannon to tackle. Okay, so now they got 2 pretty good tackles.
We got Tyrod Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't re-signed Duke Johnson.
Yeah, I think they let him walk.
They
Wasn't it
got
like 20% running back.
yeah, they got Mark Ingram.
And P. Diddy. Phil Lindsay.
Yeah.
The running back room isn't bad.
Just
They're just
a
ton
lot of
too
shit.
many-
average.
yeah,
It's like a
exactly.
lot of
It's like-
average to me.
Yeah, exactly. Their third running back is better than most teams' third running back, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean
Their
anything.
number one is not
They're not,
close
yeah, exactly.
to
Their number one
anybody's.
sucks.
Yeah.
So
And then they just got a ton of bums. They just trade.
It feels like they just tried to bring
They
in
got a
as
ton
many
of- yeah,
bodies
they-
as they could.
Their
Yeah.
free agency is the longest free agency I've seen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it just bring in.
They're getting at every position.
Yeah, they're bringing in bodies.
Yeah, I kind of like that though.
I do
I
too.
mean, that's what the Bills did back in
It's
2018,
weird, though. It's
2017.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a bigger scale.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, yeah,
huge.
for
There's
sure.
you don't know how many free agents are on this list. At least 100.
That's not
What?
100.
Well, transactions or moves that they've made.
Nick Casario is just like, I need to come in here and just
Yeah,
do
just
everything.
I
as
was
I
like,
can.
oh, I thought I had 2 teams.
I thought I had a minor league.
Yeah.
Send some of these guys.
Yeah,
to
it's just
That'd be cool.
I like this approach.
I think that would be a good.
I'd love to see a minor
yeah.
league. Yeah. If, like,
But that's for another day. But that would be awesome.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
What do you think their record prediction? Houston Texans, 2021.
I mean, it depends if you have Deshaun, because he's going to get you about. He's going to.
Just
Oh,
get
that's
you
a good
4
one.
wins. If
Ah.
it's Deshaun, you have 4 wins.
Yeah.
If it's not Deshaun,
I don't know
you
if they.
have-
Can, I don't know if they can actually get to 4 wins even with him.
I bet they.
They're
can.
going to be horrid.
If they don't have Deshaun, it could be an 0-17
Yeah,
deal.
I think I'm gonna say
1.
2-15,
I'll say 1-16.
Yeah. I'll
just to average it
I'll
out
just-
in case Deshaun Watson plays, because I think he can get him 2 wins.
Sure. If Deshaun Watson plays for him, I like the 4 wins. If he doesn't, then yeah, it could be
1.
It could be really ugly.
Could be 1 or 2.
I'm going 2.
But then you get the
15.
first pick and you get a quarterback, and the Davis Mills pick. What's he
Yeah,
for?
you get Spencer Rattler, yeah, and Davis Mills is like, what?
And he's off the roster.
Yeah.
It's just wasted a bit. And then
Spencer
that third round
Rattler's-
guy that you passed on, that everyone's gonna latch on to, is
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
more painful.
it's gonna be a Pro Bowler that you passed
Yep.
on.
Yep. It's bad for the
Just
Texans.
another Texans draft.
But we the composite rankings that we look at also had them at 32nd. They got an F- from one of the people.
Yeah.
Their highest grade was somehow a B+. I don't know
What?
who gave them that.
Who would give
Some
them?
Texans fan.
That was Nick Goss from NBC Sports Boston. So maybe he's like, okay, good job, Nick Casario. I
Yeah,
miss you or
what?
something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. That's probably exactly what he's thinking.
They got a few B-, a lot of C's, a lot of D's. So I don't know. Some people, I guess, are more optimistic about Davis Mills than we are, but yeah, pretty ugly stuff from the Texans.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for our talk about the Texans. All right, so the next team we're going to be doing on this second part of episode 3 will be the Indianapolis Colts. They started it off with first round pick, number 21 overall. They took Kwity Paye, a defensive lineman out of Michigan. I like him. I know Sean has issues with this pick, but I like Kwity Paye a lot. They have a pretty stacked defensive line now.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good player. This is just a questionable position move for me, because their D ends and their pass rush are both very good. And Christian Darrisaw, who is one of my favorite players in the entire draft, is still available. And they desperately need a tackle because of Anthony Costanzo retiring. And he could have come in and slid and played for them, but instead they pick another pass rusher when they just traded up so much to get who is that, DeForest Buckner?
Yeah, they gave up a first last year for DeForest Buckner. I think it was just a first straight up.
Yeah,
which
it
worked
was.
out because
He's great.
amazing.
But what I'm saying is, like, the D line seems to be good to me. Go get a starting tackle.
But also, Kwity Paye is really good. And this has nothing to do with his
maybe
play
it was just
style. But he has a really cool story too. He's like a refugee in Africa, and he made it out, came to New York, promised his mom that he was going to make or he was going to get a scholarship, but that she wouldn't have to pay for college, and then got drafted out of Michigan. And, he's a beast. I like his work ethic. That's sort of the general point with him. Is he's got a good work ethic. So I think like mentally, you're not going to have any issues with his commitment to the game. Like maybe a Jalen Phillips, you might have that issue. So,
Does it worry you at all? Like, he doesn't have a lot of production.
Not really, because he's still he's huge, and he's like, I think he's sort of like a Jason Oweh type guy, where he was always there in the backfield. He just didn't always make the play, but like he's always close. And so if he starts putting that together, then you could see some big production out of him. But you're also going to have DeForest Buckner taking up most of the attention from the defensive line. So
that's going to help a lot.
It will help. And that's just, you could put anyone in that spot. But I think Kwity Paye is going to be better than just anyone in that spot. But yeah, I mean, I get your point with the offensive lineman. You definitely need an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's a huge need for them.
I mean, who's there?
I mean, now they signed Eric Fisher after the draft, so.
But he's also going to be hurt for.
Yeah, and then because
I guess Sam Tevy is probably going to be their starter there.
He's not good.
Yeah, but the rest of their line is so good that maybe you're going to.
Yeah, maybe
that'll help.
I like the pick. I think he's probably has top 10 potential, like in this draft. Almost, but he's top 10.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could ask Quentin Nelson not to play left tackle, but to just sort of help more. And I think he's able to do that.
Because he's so good.
He's just so good, yeah. So maybe that'll be something that you could.
Yeah, maybe they're okay with their line.
Yeah. All right. Well, what would you give that pick, Sean?
I'll give it a B.
B.
Because I mean, he's a solid player, but they didn't address a huge need for them, so I just give it a B.
I'm gonna give it a B+ just because I like the player, but I agree that the need is an issue, or like the lack of need for the.
I like B+.
Yeah.
All right, with the Colts' second-round pick at 54th overall, they picked Dayo Adeyingbo, edge rusher out of Vanderbilt. This is a head-scratching pick to me.
Yeah.
Especially because they just went edge. And I just looked at their depth chart right now. This guy, Dayo Dagbo is 4th on their depth chart as an edge rusher.
Really, behind him?
He's behind Kwity Paye, Taekwon Lewis, Ben Banogu.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, the players that were taken, like, almost directly after him, you have Pat Fryer,
Yeah.
who's
He's a
not,
solid
I mean,
tight
he's
end.
good, but the Colts took a tight end in the 4th, which means they were sort of looking for a tight end.
Well, they needed tight end.
And-
Doyle's old.
Yeah, so you could have taken Fryer, who's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I don't know what they're doing
You
here.
could have done
Eskridge even.
Pete Werner. You could have done
Terrace Marshall Jr.
Terrace
Oh
Marshall,
my God.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been a great
That
pick
would
for
have been
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
Even Dwayne Eskridge, I would have liked.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is an awful pick.
Nick Bolton was available. It's a really bad pick.
That is a
and
head-scratcher
maybe
pick.
Odiengo's good, but if he's not, it looks really bad. Yeah, so I don't know. What would you guys give this pick here?
F.
F.
F. Okay.
I'm like genuinely angry that they didn't take Terrace Marshall Jr. Like
Yeah.
it makes me really mad that they wouldn't do that because he would be so good and
Yeah.
he would help the Colts so much.
Maybe they think they're gonna get Julio. I don't know. They need a
Well, they just
receiver.
traded a good amount of picks for Carson Wentz.
That's true. They don't have any seconds, and maybe not a first, depending on how good
Yeah.
Carson is. So maybe you. I don't know. So it's a conditional pick though. So it's either a second round or a first, depending on how much he plays.
Isn't it like 10 games or they make the playoffs?
Yeah, something like that. So maybe you like give up the other pick for Julio, which could be either a first or a second.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that would work.
I feel like Terrace. I mean, I feel like he would have had a similar effect to Julio. Or I don't know. He could be like their franchise guy too.
I mean, their receiving room is pretty.
It's
average.
all right.
I mean,
Ty is their
Hilton,
number one, and he is not a number one.
Michael
receiver.
Pittman, I think, is overhyped.
Yeah, very overhyped.
Paris Campbell, also overhyped. I think they're.
He can't catch.
Zach Pascal's okay.
He's like a number 3.
Yeah, exactly. He's their 4th on the depth chart. So
Terrace Marshall could have been their new number 1.
yeah, I totally agree. Weird pick for them at their second pick. All right, so next they took Kylan Branson. He's a tight end from SMU. What I saw on him is that he's like pretty athletic, but he's like he makes a lot of concentration drops, which is always a problem. And like he's kind of a smaller tight end, so it seems like he's more of a receiver, honestly, than a tight end. Because he's just not that physical with people, but he's decent at. I don't know. He seems like a receiver, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know that much about him though.
Well, I mean, they already have Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, and I think I can look for sure, but I think there were better tight ends available too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's
when
pretty
they
high.
Took him. Brevin Jordan. Yeah, that's the big one. So yeah, you could have taken Brevin Jordan, which would have been a much better pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't love that pick. But maybe they like something about him. I don't know. The Colts have been really good at finding talent, so I guess I can't really second guess them yet. But it's another kind of weird pick out of the Colts. I don't know. Do either of you have any news thoughts about Branson? It's okay if not.
What about the Titans? I mean, with the tight end.
Yeah.
Just not a very good value pick. If they wanted a tight end, take Brevin Jordan.
Yeah.
Kind of just repeating what you said.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I don't think it's really a need, really.
Yeah, for sure. Strange pick. And then they took Sean Davis in the 5th round. He's a defensive back out of Florida. Again, I don't know much. I was looking at this draft. It's just a really weird. Like, there's just not that many people that
This is kind of crazy. The Colts have 2 free safeties, both named Sean Davis, but spelled differently.
Really? Oh, they do. Huh. That's interesting.
That is cool.
It is pretty cool.
That's crazy. They're both the same position too.
Yeah.
Just the spelling of Sean is different.
I'd say that Sean Davis is kind of a depth piece.
Yeah.
Maybe a special teams guy.
Yeah, probably special teams. Yeah.
Yeah, then I think they needed depth at the safety.
Yeah, everyone could use that.
Yeah, because they have good safety like Kari Willis and Julian Blackman are solid, and then they have good corners too. So yeah, depth piece there for Sean Davis. And let's see, they took Sam Ellinger next,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
quarterback from Texas.
This pick is crazy. I don't think it's a need, first of all, because last year they took Jacob Eason in the draft.
Oh, they did. That's right.
Yeah, so he's
better too.
Yeah, he's better. So they already have their young guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's really. I mean, what round was it in?
The 6th.
Oh, okay, never mind then. That's
it
an
was,
alright round to take him. It's worth
yeah.
a shot.
It was but the players you pick him over.
He's similar to Ian Book, I think.
Tagoan, you picked him over.
Tagoan?
Mukuamu, you picked him over. I guess they don't need that many defensive backs, but
Yeah.
you also took him over Seth Williams, who the Packers got kind of like. He went directly after. I don't know.
Fine. I mean, it's
a fine
alright.
pick, yeah.
I think there's no chance that he's an actually
Yeah.
good quarterback.
But I mean,
He could
take
be.
a flyer on him.
I think
why
he could
not?
be kind of like Taysom Hill, maybe.
Yeah.
You could find a role for him like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not mad at that pick at all. It's a okay pick. And then they took a receiver who's huge named Michael Strachan. Strachan. I think it's Strachan.
Straight chin.
Yeah, this is just like a no.
Because he's got a straight chin.
He's huge though. He's 6'5", 226 pounds.
Sounds like me.
He's fairly fast. He ran a 4.5, so I guess fast for that. He's pretty old though. He's going to be 24 before the season, so that's. But again, you're not expecting much out of him. That's the thing that scares me is he's a developmental prospect, but he's old, which usually doesn't mix well.
Yeah.
So.
Will
yeah,
Fries
it's
is pretty
fine.
good, isn't he? The guy they got in the 7th.
Yeah, he's okay.
I
That was
kind of
a
like
good
that.
pick.
I think 7th round pick. I think he's pretty good.
Oh, the other thing with Strachan, just before we move on, is oh, never mind. I thought they picked him over another guy, but they didn't. He was a few picks before, so never mind. Sorry. On to was it Will Fries from Penn State?
Apparently they're going to try to move him to guard.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah,
Tackles moving to guard.
Yeah, because they had him listed here as O guard, and I like that, so
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
If he's an unathletic tackle and he's big, you move him to guard.
Yeah.
And then, why not? So I'll give that. I like that pick then.
Yeah.
Just instantly like that pick. So, cool.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, it's an alright pick. How'd you guys grade this class?
B minus.
C plus.
I'll do a B minus as well.
Actually, I'm going to do a C.
Yeah, okay.
Quiddy Pay is a justifiable pick.
Yeah, and that brings
And
the
Will
draft to a point.
Fries, it's pretty much.
But yeah, after that, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad all around. It's weird because again, the Colts have been so good at drafting, and honestly, there's a good chance that a few of these guys work out, and they find another Darius Leonard or Julian Blackman or Kenny Moore. That they've just been so good at drafting recently under Chris Ballard. But yeah, this class doesn't look good now, and that's all we can sort of speculate on is how it looks now. So I think B minus, C plus or C is all. Those are all fair.
Any notable UDFAs?
Yeah, so there was a couple that I guess people like. They got running back out of Duke. They got a Texas wide receiver, Tariq Black, who apparently a lot of people like as a sort of a sneaky one. And then he's a really good athlete. That's his deal. He's big. He's really fast. So that could be an interesting one that works out for them. And then they got Tyler Vaughns out of USC, who a lot of people thought would be drafted. So I guess maybe good value there. That's the only thing we can do for these UDFAs is just sort of speculate on what value they got out of them. But I think the key ones there in this UDFA class are Tariq Black and Tyler Vaughns, both receivers. So, but no major, no big ones. But
Yeah.
Nick, anything about their free
Yeah.
agency?
Well, of course, they got Carson Wentz this offseason.
Then they lost both their quarterbacks as well. Jacoby Brissett went to the Dolphins, and Philip Rivers retired. They re-signed T.Y. Hilton. They signed Eric Fisher. They re-signed Xavier Rhodes. They signed Chris Reed, Sean Davis, Isaiah Rochelle. Yeah, just a bunch of people for $2-3 million, like Sam Tevy, re-signed Mo Alley Cox, Zach Pascal. Yeah.
They got
nothing
Eric
too
Fisher too. I don't know if you mentioned him, but he won't. I mean, that'll be a good tackle when you need him late in the season, but he's not going to play for the first few weeks anyways, and he's going to miss the entire off season because it's an Achilles that he has.
Yeah, I think Achilles.
So I don't know. That could be interesting, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and nothing too special.
the Carson Wentz one is. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one as well. I think that could really work out.
It's better than Philip Rivers.
And you reunite him with who's their offensive coordinator that he did well with in it's gonna bug me.
Frank Reich.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Frank Reich, who was his.
He was the head coach in Indianapolis,
Yep.
but was the quarterbacks coach or the
I think he was
offensive?
the offensive
Oh,
coordinator.
the offensive coordinator at the Eagles. Really?
When he was good.
Yeah.
Back when he was good.
Yeah,
in,
so hopefully he'll reignite it.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting. That could work out. I like that. They traded 2 seconds or 1 second and a possible first for him. So good. I like that one a lot. All right, record predictions. For the same.
I think they'll win this division.
Yeah.
So we'll go
Crappy division.
12-5.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe 11-6, but
Yeah, I was going to say 1-6.
depends on how good the Titans.
I don't know how good their schedule is.
Yeah, I can look it up. Let's see here. They have the what is that? 15th hardest schedule, so very average. And I think that they're a really good roster. So if Carson Wentz is great, then they could be
Let's say 11-6.
pretty fantastic. But they also had they were given the 25th best draft, so I think that's pretty fair because I don't think any of us really like this draft, and that's based on those composites. Their highest grade was actually a B+. They're one of the only teams without an A, except for the Texans and the Seahawks, but their lowest grade was a D.
Damn.
So, average stuff out of the Colts for this offseason.
Yeah.
All right, we're back with part 3 in the 3rd episode of the IR guys, and we're gonna be looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They started off with the obvious pick, Trevor Lawrence, number 1.
One of the most clear picks ever. Just
Yeah.
I think I saw someone bet like $50,000 on him to take him, and he won like $60 or something
Yeah, I saw that.
in total. Yeah,
I think he's bet $30K.
yeah, it was minus 100,000 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to talk much about it.
No,
He's good.
He's
He's
very
gonna be
good.
really good.
Yeah, although, yeah, I think he'll be good wherever he goes. Like I don't like with Zach Wilson. I don't think he's good enough to save that franchise or to turn him around. But I think
Yeah.
that Lawrence could turn
Anyway.
Jacksonville around
Yeah.
a little bit. He's very good. 6'6", 220. He's athletic. He's fast. He can throw it. He can. You know, he's been hyped up
He's
since he was
smart,
in like
he's
middle
a great
school.
leader.
Yeah.
I mean, he wins. He just flat out wins.
Yeah, how many games has he lost in his life?
4?
2 or 4. Yeah,
I
some
think 4
ridiculous.
his entire life.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
Yeah, he'll lose like 12 this season, but that's okay.
Already hit him with the projections.
Yeah, well,
He's never lost a regular season game though.
Yeah, week 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's
Week 2 against the Donkeys.
yeah. I don't know. I mean that's a pick for me just because of
Yeah.
Yeah.
who he is.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing else they could have done, so
Yeah.
it's the best pick they could have.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I would have done. A+.
Any other pick would have been an F.
Yeah. Then later in round 1, they picked Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson.
hate
Another
this-
Clemson.
I hate this pick.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like who they get, but they could have gotten him at 33 probably, or
Yeah.
maybe 40. I mean,
Or just
wait for another running back. I think it's just terrible value. But
don't take a running back.
good
either.
player, just bad value.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Why,
Especially that they.
do you
are-
believe in James Robinson? as
all his
well?
reps
I
are
do.
at wide receiver.
I like James Robinson a lot.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't. That's why I think it's a good pick.
And
It's
they,
not where they picked him.
And Etienne, all his snaps were at wide receiver.
Yeah, apparently they're trying to move him to a wide receiver in camp, which is really
That's
weird.
what they're doing, and they should have just picked Elijah Moore.
Yeah, or Rashad Bateman. Then
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I love Rashad Bateman. There's, I mean, Jason Oweh's available, Tevin Jenkins, Koromoa.
Yeah. Well, they passed on Koromoa quite a few times.
That's true. Yeah, 4 times they passed on. If you count the first pick, which
Really?
doesn't really count, but
3 probably.
yeah, I don't get it. But I don't know. I like James Robinson is why.
You know,
Uh,
I don't think he's like athletic enough.
That's fair. So yeah, I guess if you don't like James Robinson, then it's an okay pick. Even then, it's still kind of a head scratcher just because.
Other
I mean,
value.
Etienne is good, but
Yeah. Did they trade up for him or no? I
no,
don't
they
think did.
they're at like
Okay.
19 or something.
That would be even worse. But
They might have traded down.
no, they got it was the Rams' first round pick from the.
Jalen.
Oh yeah, and they stayed where they were. And then they followed that pick with Tyson Campbell.
Especially with one of the
Corner
worst
during the-
defenses.
Well, yeah, well they just picked a corner, Tyson Campbell, first pick in the second round.
That was a bad pick.
This is a confusing pick.
I don't like this one either. I don't think he's as good as the defensive backs that were available. If you're going for defensive backs, Kelvin Joseph is better than he is.
So is Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, for sure. And they passed on him
Well,
twice.
yeah, they did.
I mean,
And Rondell Moore twice.
yeah. So like, I mean, the players that they're getting in this draft are not bad,
But they're
but the value that they're
Yeah.
getting for them is bad.
it's like the Dolphins situation. A lot of picks. Like
Yeah.
you just look at the players, you're like, wow,
Yeah, what
it's
a
a lot
draft.
of talent. But then you look at where they picked them and who
Yeah.
else was available. You're like, whoa, it's some value lost.
And like that's the luxury with having all of these picks, and I guess the Dolphins are like the better example of that. But when you have a bunch of picks, you can pick, you know, you can get all these guys, but yeah, if the value isn't there, then it almost doesn't matter. Unless of course they're good, because if they're good in the pros, then none of what we're saying matters about
Yeah.
whether the pick was good or not. Because like, you know, you'll take a good player in the first or the fifth. At the end of the day, you're just sort of hoping for good players. So I guess guess, if you trust your board, but I don't know.
There must have been something that they really, especially taking him at 33.
Yeah.
They could have taken a better tackle then.
Yeah.
And then gotten him at 45 probably. Just kind of questionable value picking for the Jaguars in this draft.
For sure.
And they get Walker Little after that, who's good.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I agree.
They get their tackle help.
Mm-hmm.
Then Andre Cisco, who I love. He's my favorite safety in the class. They get him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why he didn't go early. Well, he's hurt a lot, I think, in college.
He's so good though. I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, he was really fun at Syracuse, and he can sort of do everything.
Yeah, I think
that you need in a safety. And
and they needed safety help.
Well, they need everything, so. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good pick. I'll give that one a good grade. Yeah, and then
Jay Tufele, is that how you say it?
Jay Tufele from USC.
He's good.
He's one of the
That's a good
Samoans
pick.
out of USC. That there were quite a few. You got Tui Pelotu, you got Talanoa Hufanga, you got Tufele. They're all good. I loved USC's seniors this year. So
Yeah, he's a good player. It's a good
if
pick.
you take one of them, it's a solid pick. I mean, he's a big guy too, as an interior defensive line. He's 6'3", 305. You might need to put on some more weight, but 305 is not awful.
Yeah.
A lot of people have him as a 2nd round guy, which
Who?
they basically got him in the 2nd round because the 65th overall pick is.
Who, Cisco?
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, I was thinking.
You're talking about Tufele being a second?
Yeah, I was talking about Tufele, but
Yeah, that's a good
Cisco's
pick.
also, I think, a 2nd round guy, but
Tufele, I think he could come in and start.
yeah. But you
Oh
got him
my
in the 4th.
gosh. Yikes. I forgot about Taven Bryan. You remember Taven Bryan? They picked him in the 1st round a couple years ago.
No. Where did he?
The
What did
D
he
tackle
go?
from Florida, you don't remember him? He was white.
I'm assuming he's bad.
Yeah, he's a bust. They picked him in
Is he like-
pick 20. I think this was 2018.
Yeah.
It's
Whatever.
terrible. Like 26 maybe.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they've been
He'll come in and beat him out probably immediately. So.
been bad at drafting
Yeah.
the Jags because they've had just consistent high picks over the last decade and consistently screw it
Yeah.
up. Which,
Then after that they pick an edge rusher. Who's depth edge, I think. I mean, I like their edge rushers. They got Caleb on Chason and Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's definitely a depth guy.
And their linebacker core is pretty good.
Yeah, Miles Jack, Joe Schobert.
Yep. Chason and Josh Allen. Their secondaries were just.
Yeah.
Oh, but they did just sign Shaquille Griffin, so.
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin and they have no safeties, but
Yeah,
Andre
there's-
Cisco's going to help.
Yeah, he'll probably come in and be their free safety right away.
Yeah, they need middle pass rush. So I
Yeah,
guess J.
depth.
Tufele is good, but I mean Roy Robertson Harris, Taven Bryan, which you were just talking about.
And Malcolm Brown.
Not great. Got Jihad Ward, Jay Tufele, and Adam Gotsis is their
Yeah.
second group there. So I think,
Yikes.
they need some help there. But again, they're not a team that expects to win now at all. So they're sort of looking for the future, which this is a good draft if you're looking for the future, unlike the Texans, who sort of
Yeah.
seem to be in win now mode still, but
Yeah, they can't
aren't.
win. Yeah. Then the Jags take tight end Luke Farrell at Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't know much about him at all.
I think just special teams pick here.
Probably, he's big.
They also don't have
Nice
really
tight
any
ends.
tight ends, so he could be a solid like number 2
Yeah.
tight end for
I
them.
mean, who's their starter? They got Tim Tebow starting it.
Really?
No, Chris Manhertz.
Oh yeah.
But they do have
O'Shaughnessy's not bad.
Tim Tebow, so
Yeah.
watch out for him.
Yeah, watch out.
That's a funny sign. We can talk about that a
Yeah.
little more. But,
Then they take Jalen Camp, another special teams.
yeah, I think that's a good
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
I mean, he'll be good on special teams, and I think that's a fine pick late in the draft.
Any like UDFA's you like?
Yeah, there's a few. So you've got DJ Daniel, who's a cornerback from Georgia. I actually like DJ Daniel more than Tyson Campbell.
Wow.
I think Eric Stokes is better of the 3 Georgia corners, but I like DJ. I don't necessarily like him more than Tyson Campbell, but I think they're closer than people think.
Wow.
He needs some help with coverage, but I think you could develop him into something nice. But he was one of the guys that was sort of like, and he needs to put on some weight too. But he was one of the guys that, when I was like looking for late round guys earlier in the draft process, he sort of showed up, and there's a lot of things to like about his game that don't necessarily warrant him going undrafted. So I like this signing a lot. Then you've got Josh Imatrabebe, is how you say it, or Imatrabebe, something like that. From Illinois, he's a big receiver, another special teams guy, but he could crack the roster and maybe get a few catches this year. But he's athletic, and again, another guy that is good value if you're signing him for a UDFA, because he's a guy that a lot of people thought would be drafted, in the 5th through 7th rounds kind of area. So, and again, that only matters if you get good value in your 5th through 7th rounds, and then you start signing free agents that are supposed to go there, and that's how the value works. But which I think they did pretty well in the late rounds with the Jags. So I'd be happy with the UDFA. And then of course the big one that they signed is Dylan Moses, who's kind of a surprise that he went undrafted.
I don't think he's going to be a good player, but
I agree.
It's kind of crazy that he went undrafted.
I agree. I don't think he's very good either. But again, good value, because he's one of the free agents that probably has the most potential to be good of these UDFAs for many of the teams. So, he was a high recruit at Alabama. He was really hyped last year. He stayed an extra year in college and really ruined his draft stock because he regressed a lot this year. So, probably not going to be very good. A lot of people wanted, the Broncos to draft him over Baron Browning. When we were looking at Twitter on draft night, everyone was like, "Oh, you should have taken Dylan Moses over Baron Browning," but I disagree, because Dylan Moses is
and so does the
not
NFL.
very good.
So does the rest of the NFL.
Yeah.
None of them didn't go drafted.
Clearly, yeah. There's other linebackers that were taken late in the draft that were not named Dylan Moses, but strange pick, or not straight. Sorry, strange that he went undrafted, but good UDFA signing, because again, he has potential if he figures things out.
He can get back to how he used to play.
Yeah, which was, again, I think a lot of people talked about him as like a first round prospect.
Yeah, back then.
Not a bad signing there. Nick, anything with their free agency?
Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, they extended Andrew Norwell. They got Marvin Jones. They got Malcolm Brown. Carlos Hyde. Re-signed Cam Robinson.
Their wide receiver core is not bad.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Yeah, Chark, Jones, and Cisco.
And then Conley.
They got
and
Sean
D.D.
Jenkins.
Westbrook.
So they got
D.D. Westbrook, don't they?
Doesn't look like it.
What about Conley?
I don't think that either. It says Colin Johnson, Philip Dorsett, Jamal Agnew, Jalen Camp, Terry Godwin.
Oh yeah, well they must have lost most of them.
Josh Imortabebe. They've got Ben Barch. At guard. Remember him?
I do remember him.
He's fun. The guy that drank that smoothie.
Yeah.
Like a ridiculous amount of seemingly nasty ingredients.
Their line's not that bad though. It's not as bad as I thought.
No. Brandon Linder's okay.
Pretty average. Linder's good.
Taylor.
He's can't remember. It's just everyone's kind of
Yeah. So they're closer than a lot of teams. I feel like. Because again, you have your quarterback figured out now. So.
They got Walker Little.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. You could start him at.
All right. What do you grade the drafts?
I'll give it a. You have to. I think it has to be pretty high just because of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm going B.
Say B plus.
Yeah, B plus.
Yeah, I mean, and in our composite rankings, they had the 9th best draft,
Really? Wow.
which is about a B plus ish range. So, I agree. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, their highest grade was an A plus from Danny Kelly of the Ringer, who had some questionable picks as well, but it's all right. And their lowest grade was a C plus from Connor Orr at Sports. Oh, actually, no, they had a C from Thornton Nystrom at NBC Sports, but he was like the lowest. He was like the lowest overall grader. All of his grades seemed to be bad, except for the Broncos, who got an A plus. So that was interesting, but we'll get to that next episode or so. Yeah, that would be the Jacksonville.
Well, we gotta do. We gotta do a record.
Oh, that's right. I'm
predictions.
sorry. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Psych.
Spoke too soon. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 4-13.
I'll agree with that. Because I actually said that earlier. I said maybe about 4 wins.
Oh.
So
Yeah, so
I'll agree
4,
with that.
yeah, 4-13.
I'll go 5 and
12.
12.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sure. Their strength of schedule, they have. My tabs.
They're
are
gonna
right
lose
here.
week 2.
Hopefully.
They have the 13th hardest, or 13th easiest schedule. So. Yeah. Not. I mean, again, pretty middle of the pack. So I think basically, they're not gonna surprise people with like a random few wins, and they're not gonna get demolished by that strength of schedule. So I think
Yeah.
4-11, 5-12, or 4.
4-13.
4-13, excuse me, and then 5 and I guess 5-12 is
Yep.
fair. All right. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alrighty, welcome back. We're on our last-ish part of the third episode of the IR guys, and we're going to talk about the final team in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans, and their draft and offseason. So they started off with the 22nd overall pick. They took Caleb Farley, the corner out of Virginia Tech. And I'll let you go first if you want. But
I think this is a good value pick, and it's a position in need. I think that it's a good pick for them. He's a good
yeah,
player.
I don't know.
He was an opt-out, which is kind of...
Yeah, I don't like Caleb Farley.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I think he's very athletic, and he's pretty technically sound, just not very technically sound. I think he's got the ability to be a great corner in the NFL.
You could
Just
definitely coach him up, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he has so much potential," but it's just because he's young and he's really athletic.
Well, they have some good corners.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much
Janoris
they needed
Jenkins.
that.
Well, no, they definitely did need it.
Well, they lost a bunch.
They have.
Didn't they lose like Adoree Jackson?
They got. Yeah, they lost to Joe Jackson. But they got Christian Fulton, and then they later on drafted Elijah Molden.
I love the Elijah Molden.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to
Caleb
that.
Farley. I don't get it. Like if you watch his film, he makes some really fun highlight plays, but it's like every other play he gets burned, and they don't show up in his highlights, obviously, but like I think it was like a game versus like Tennessee or Miami that just got worked the entire game, and then he had like a pick, and so then that went on his stats, but. And I might be making that up, but there was a game that was like that, so I don't know the exact.
Who's their tackle?
Till one.
Yeah, they lost
And Dylan Radunes.
Jack Conklin last year, but
Yeah, because they have nobody. It's a good thing they drafted Dylan Radunes because he's starting.
Well, if, in that case, I think they should have drafted Darrisaw
yeah,
I agree.
over Caleb Farley.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
His teammate.
Yeah, you just take all the Virginia Tech guys you can get, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good players available. Could have taken Najee Harris because Derrick Henry's on his way out.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that. But,
Mhm.
Greg Newsome would have been a good pick because they do need. I think Greg Newsome's better, but I'd rather have Greg Newsom than Caleb Farley.
Yeah, me too, probably.
But you know.
I thought Farrell was going to go a little higher.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of surprised that Washington didn't take him.
Yeah, that when we get to their episode, that Jamin Davis pick was kind of a head scratcher.
It was, yeah. But anyways, yeah, Caleb Farley sort of split down the middle, I guess, for whether we like him or not.
Yeah.
But it could work out if you coach him up. So I guess see what happens in a couple of years.
Then second round, they take tackle Dylan Radunes out of North Dakota State, and he's starting for them now at right tackle.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty good. That's a good pick. Good
Yeah,
value. I
yeah.
thought he would go sooner.
Yeah. I like that one as well. And he's one of the more pure right tackle guys, because he played a lot of right. I think he played only right tackle in college. He might have played a couple left tackle snaps.
Yeah,
but,
so.
There's not as many. Like the majority of the tackles that were coming out, you'd have to move. Like if you were gonna say Penei Sewell fell to the Broncos, if you were going to take him, you'd probably move him over to right tackle, which could be a tough. Not necessarily that tough, but it could be a weird transition for him. But with Radunes, he's already a right tackle. You put him in a right tackle, it works really well. So there's none of that transition there, which again may or may not be a big deal, but just something interesting. Yeah.
Then Monty Rice, linebacker out of Georgia in the third round, with their first pick in the third round.
Yeah. I think they traded back. Or no, I guess they did trade back, yeah.
Their linebackers are pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of. I would have liked to see them use that pick on the D line.
They do have good linebackers.
Interior D line, I feel like is where they should have gone.
Yeah, and there were some good.
Davion Nixon, they could have got.
They didn't. Yeah.
Ronnie Perkins.
Ronnie Perkins for sure. Did they need a center? With Ben Jones. How is he?
He's pretty good.
Okay. I was gonna say because you could have taken Ben Cleveland or Quinn Miners at that spot, but you know, I guess linebacker's okay for that
Yeah.
point. I don't know.
Then they get Elijah Molden at pick 100 in the third round.
That
Great
one's a good
value.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice pick.
They get another good corner.
Yeah.
Their secondary is young.
It is young. I
Very
think.
young.
Yeah, I think Molden could be a pretty big steal in this
Yeah. He could beat out Farley.
instance. Yeah.
Yeah, if you could.
He definitely could. He's probably better right now than Farley. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't think Farley's very good. Which, you know, I think a lot of people jumped onto Farley because, again, he's super athletic.
Yeah. He used to play wide receiver.
It's like Chad Surratt. He's really athletic. You move him from quarterback to linebacker.
Just risky.
Transition's tough, and Farley still hasn't figured it all out yet. If he does, yeah, it could be great. If he doesn't, then, which I don't know if he will, then we're looking at a bad pick. But sorry to keep harping on that one.
Yeah, and then Dez Fitzpatrick, wide receiver, 109. Wow, they had a lot of picks in the middle.
They really did. I don't know anything about Des Fitzpatrick. I think he's another depth piece.
They do need receivers, though.
They do need.
So,
yeah. I mean, you've got AJ Brown, but you lost Corey Davis.
Adam Humphries, I mean, he's not really good enough to be.
Yeah. ESPN says that Des Fitzpatrick is going to have to start.
Yeah, maybe he'll be their number 2.
He might be. Because, it's AJ Brown, Josh Reynolds, Des Fitzpatrick, Cameron Batson, Racey McMath, who I do like. And I think he could be a sneaky one, but we'll get to that later. That's another pick.
Then I love this pick. They get Rashad Weaver.
Yeah.
That's a great pick for me because, I mean, I thought he was going to go way sooner.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's 6'5", 270.
And he's going to be like their third edge rusher, too, because they already have some good ones.
Apparently he has some legal troubles surfacing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do we know what those are about, or?
I'm not sure. It just says that he has not had a good start
Well,
as a Titan.
No, he's a great player.
He is. And that whole Pittsburgh front. Pittsburgh had a good defensive draft this year. Not
You mean the college,
the college,
prospect wise?
Rashad Reaver, Patrick Jones, Paris Ford, DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
Some good prospects.
Yeah, those are some big names.
They had that one kid. What's his name? Was it Rashad? They had one guy that was like a freak on the bench press.
I think it was Rashad Weaver. Yeah.
It was okay. Let me see actually.
Should we move on to the next pick while you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, then they pick Racy McMath, wide receiver LSU. Probably special teams.
Yeah, Jalen Twyman was the other defensive lineman. I don't know where he went.
Jalen Twyman.
Twyman, he went to.
Tennessee's got Fred
Vikings.
Brown.
He went to the Vikings. But anyways, yeah. Pittsburgh, the college, had a good defensive draft. I don't know about Pittsburgh's team. They haven't done that yet, but.
Then they pick a receiver. We were just talking about Racy McMath. It's a weird. Probably just special teams.
I like him actually. Yeah, probably gonna be a special teams, but another one.
I don't see him anywhere on their depth chart.
He's there.
Oh no, there he is. He's like number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I think McMath could be like. He'd be a very good special teamer, and he's fast too. He ran a 4.39, and he's pretty big. So he's a guy that could be a sleeper. He could be a sleeper, and as a 6th round pick, I think that's good value. I know, the Saints really wanted him for some reason.
They
I
always
guess
have
because
guys
he's
like
LSU.
that.
They were looking at him.
Then the Titans round out their draft with Brady Breeze. Great name.
It is good.
Breeze, I like that.
It's like the 4th Oregon safety I've seen taken
Yeah.
too. I honestly.
He's
know
probably.
there's
I think he's just a special teamer.
one.
On their depth chart, he is very low.
Oh yeah, he is. He's down there with
Maurice Smith.
behind Dane Cruikshank and Matthias Farley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, if we're getting good special teamers, then it's not a bad draft.
Yeah.
Cause
It's always something you got to address.
Yeah, you just at the end of the day, all you want to do is get
Quality football plays.
exactly quality football players. If you can do that, then you can't knock on any drafts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've done. Because at worst, Caleb Farley's going to be an excellent special teamer.
Yeah. He will be.
If he doesn't work out at corner, he could be one of the better special teamers in the country, or in the league. So
What do you grade the draft?
I'm gonna give him a B- for the Farley one, and
I'll
then
give him
an A for Dylan Ryder, and so those sort of even out.
I'm gonna give him a B+.
Yeah, I like B+.
I think B+ as well. They got a lot of good athletes,
Yeah.
and who's the coach? What's his name?
Mike Vrabel.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike Vrabel. He seems to be good at getting stuff out of athletes. He's done well with Kevin Byard. He's done well with Derrick Henry, who are pure athletes for us. Derrick Henry's sort of an animal, by the way, but yeah.
All right. So Nick, who did they get in free agency?
Well, the big signing, Bud Dupree.
Oh yeah.
A lot of money.
So they
60
lost
million.
Clowney. Remember that? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like the trade Clowney for
Yeah,
Bud
Dupree.
Dupree.
Clowney's a lot cheaper, about half the price. But Dupree was $16.5 million, where
Yeah, they overpaid. They
Clowney
did.
got $8 million from Cleveland.
Yeah.
They lost Malcolm Butler, lost Adam Humphries,
Oh, they lost.
signed Janoris Jenkins, which is pretty big. Signed Kevin Johnson. Yeah, not much. Yeah, that's really about it.
Lost Corey Davis.
Yeah, that's huge.
lost Cordy Davis, lost Johnny Smith.
Oh, that's a big
right.
one.
Their
They
receiving
still
is
got
gonna be
Frickshire
tough.
though. Frickshire's not bad.
Yeah, their receiving corps could be a problem because you basically have AJ Brown and
It's
Josh Reynolds.
yeah.
And then a rookie
Dude.
Des Fitzpatrick. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Their
Not ideal.
receiving core is not looking that good.
No, it's not.
But they have D-Hen.
Yeah.
Any UDFAs, Charlie?
Well, they got a kicker and a punter. Got a punter from Cincinnati, who I guess was pretty good in college. He averaged 43.6 yards per punt, which is pretty good.
Where's the
Huh?
Where's the kicker?
His name's Blake Haubeil. He's
Oh,
from
that-
Ohio State.
He's not on their depth chart.
That's interesting. Yeah, they signed a few. They signed like 10 UDFAs. So they got a few. They got this guy Justice Reed, who's a defensive lineman from again Virginia Tech. So they're, I guess, rounding it out.
Yeah, a lot of Virginia Tech.
Yeah. He 6'3", 270 pounds, 9 sacks and 28 tackles during 10 games of the season. So he's a fun developmental piece, and that could work out at some point in his career. Miller Forrestall, I don't know if you remember him. He was the tight end for Bama, and he was okay this year. I mean, he obviously benefited from. He's a guy who really did benefit from talent around. I know they always say that for Mac Jones, but Forrestall really did benefit from talent around him at Bama.
He's a really average dude.
He is, yeah, but he could be good, and I guess that's to build up their tight end depth, which is lacking with the loss of Jonas Smith.
Record predictions?
They have let's see, the 7th easiest schedule.
I'm gonna go 11-6.
Yeah. Because they'll be
But that
They'll be
Corey,
behind.
I feel like the receiving.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Maybe
if they
10
get
and 7. 10 and 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
what
Derrick Henry.
I don't know. But you don't have to
I'd go
respect
10
the
and
passing
7.
game as much
I,
anymore.
yeah.
It's true.
10 and 7.
Yeah, thanks, man. Because I would put him second in the division.
Yeah.
You guys think that Houston or Jacksonville's going to be last?
Houston.
For sure. I
Houston,
think it's not even a question.
Houston just doesn't have any.
with Deshaun, sorry. I should
Even-
specify.
I'll say
Even with
Houston's,
Deshaun, yeah, still, I think they're worse.
Okay.
They don't really have any bright spots.
Okay. They also, going to our composite rankings, they were given where are they? The 19th best draft. Basically an average of about a B. So, did we grade their draft?
Yeah.
We did, okay. That's what I thought. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, their highest grade was an A from PFF. Wow.
Wow.
That's interesting. I guess because PFF really liked Farley, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then their lowest was a D from Matt Lombardo at Fansided. He gave a lot of A's out, so D is kind of. He basically this guy gave a lot of A's and a lot of D's and F's, and then pretty much nothing in the middle. So, yeah, it's just certain people have different grading philosophies. Yeah, I mean I guess that's the
Tennessee Titans.
That's the Tennessee Titans, yeah. Alright, so we're going to wrap up our episode 3 with, as per usual, a little bit of a talk about hockey. Because, we're all big Avs fans. Some of us know more than others, but that's alright. We've got special guest Justin sitting here.
Hello, it's a pleasure. I don't know too much about hockey, but
Or any sport for that matter.
I'd love to join you. I did watch the game last night.
Yeah, he did watch the
He did.
game where last night where the
Yeah.
Avs
Avs are through
clinched the
second
win.
round.
Yeah.
And we swept them.
Swept the Blues.
That Ryan O'Reilly I know everyone's talking about that Ryan O'Reilly.
Oh
quote,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Everyone made
Blues captain was quoted before saying, "What we are going to beat
We're
them."
gonna have fun and we're gonna beat them.
Yeah, we will
is what he
beat them.
said.
About the Avalanche, and he
Um,
goes out there and let's just
former
say he
Av.
didn't back it up.
He did not. They did not beat us
No.
once.
Yeah.
I had a
We
lead
won
for
by 5+.
had the
each
lead
game.
for like 5 minutes in the whole series.
Entire series. It's pretty fun. I mean, I think everyone made a bigger deal about it than it was not. Because like, what else is he gonna say? Like, We're gonna lose in 6.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny.
But it is funny that he then didn't beat them once.
Yo, Tarasenko beat us.
Tarasenko didn't play well, but I mean, his season's over, not the Avalanche.
I hate Brady.
Didn't he get both goals last night?
Yeah.
He was sniping.
Yeah,
He's
he's
really
a
nice.
sniper. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's always hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's old and always hurt.
Yeah, but they had some other players that I don't like Tyler Bozak,
Yeah.
Barbashev, and
Barbashev.
Bortuzzo. I really don't like Bortuzzo.
I don't like Scandella.
Scandella's an asshole. So is Shen.
Yeah, Shen sucks. I like O'Reilly.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to admit it.
Yeah.
I just respect him.
Yeah.
He's a great player.
He carried that team
Mhm.
to a cup. Him and Bennington, but
Yeah.
Bennington then decided to regress a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
played like crap this series.
Yeah. He was good the first game. Almost stole it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Not really. Tried to
Anything, our special guest Justin? Anything that you noticed from the game yesterday that you want to talk about?
That we played a lot. We seemed to dominate a lot more than we did in Game 3.
Who's we? The Avalanche.
The Avalanche, obviously.
I
I'm an Avs fan, so
Okay.
obviously. But yeah, the Avalanche seemed to dominate more in this game.
Yeah.
I felt like we had more control of the puck. I felt like Game 3, they really seemed to control the puck more than the Avalanche. It still didn't represent the score. We still smacked them.
Yeah.
I feel like. Well, we did we have 2 empty net goals? Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was really 3-2, I think.
Yeah, it was a close game.
It was a close game, so I mean, like, it wasn't like.
Until the empty netters.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a close game. I still felt like we dominated
there
that
was
game.
I think there were 2 because that's the night McKinnon. No,
Yeah.
that was game 2. McKinnon.
That was game 2. We had 2.
No, didn't we
Save.
score at like the 30th second? Or like
We definitely had 1 empty netter. I don't know if.
I think
two.
we had like 3 seconds left, and then someone scored.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was Nichushkin.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Yeah, it was like.
Oh, yeah,
literally
there were 2
seconds
empty
left,
netters.
He just taps it
Game
in.
3, there were 2 empty netters.
That was pretty funny.
That was McKinnon's hat trick.
I think there was a pretty big bet too on like DraftKings for Nichushkin being an anytime scorer. And,
Oh, that was
with
hilarious.
Like 2 seconds left in the.
That was
empty
funny.
netter.
I can't believe they didn't fight him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there
I
wasn't
was
a
like,
fight.
wow.
I know.
That is bold.
It is interesting.
That's funny.
Braden Shen just
Quick
got
stat pad.
worked that entire series, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Because he really came out swinging with obviously the fight versus Landeskog, and then he decides to just stink the bed for the rest of the series. And, made me happy because I don't like Braden Shen, but
Me neither.
yeah. The one thing I did notice, I felt like the Blues had a lot more quality chances, especially in Game 3, which I think, Justin, you're right, that they honestly, they were the better team in Game 3. We still won.
I think the Avs are suited to play though when
Yeah.
they're being
Are the Oilers
when they're
playing
getting
right now?
outpossessed. No, the Oilers played last night.
They might have a back-to-back, though.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I
the Oilers are
do
gonna get
think
swept,
that the
yeah.
the
That's
Blues
wild.
did have more possession Game 3 and had better puck control. I feel like, and had better opportunities. I think the Avs transition is just so powerful that it didn't really
Yeah.
matter, and we got that victory pretty easily because we had those transitions where we scored in and we put the puck in the net, and they just couldn't do that with that possession.
Yeah, that's how the Avs play.
They're just,
Yeah.
That's why they're so scary. That's
Yeah.
how lethal they are in transition.
I saw a thing that the Avs had the highest, like, odds based on these simulations that they've run every year in the last 15 years or something. They had the highest odds to win the cup. It was like 38%. of the time they
Really?
won the
Wow.
cup. And the next
Wow.
highest was like 19. It was
Is
ridiculous.
that Vegas? Is it-
No, it was like the 2017 Penguins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're talking about like probability going into it.
Yeah, they go, and these things go back a while.
So this is the best team they think.
They think this is like the best team we've seen in a long time, which I agree with. I mean that run they went on mid-season was just so fun.
Wow.
Every night it's just
Yeah.
beautiful. But
Hopefully they'll lock it up and get the cup this year.
I know that'd be a problem because their cap situation is a mess.
Yeah, no, this is probably their best year.
They can
So-
maybe fix it in like 2 years, but next year's
Well,
gonna be tough.
Saad's gone. I don't know how they keep Grubauer.
Landeskog apparently wants $7 million.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's fair.
It's fair, but I mean, I thought he would take more of a discount,
Yeah, that's
just
still
based
big,
on the
but-
way he is like a
Yeah.
person.
Maybe you don't protect him in the expansion draft
Yeah, I don't think we should.
because he's not going to leave. Because
Yeah.
he's a UFA, so he can come back
Yeah.
even if they pick him, and then you get to, and then you don't protect Kadri either. And then you can protect like Donskoy and Jost.
Why not? Why don't protect Kadri?
You save some money if they take him. I don't think he didn't have an impact on us this year.
He's got a good deal. He's only making 4.5.
Yeah, but like
And he is good. What do you mean?
he had like a negative impact on
I
the team
forgot
this
you
year.
hate Kadri.
I don't hate Kadri. I liked him last year.
You just look
And
at
this has nothing to do
you
with
look
his-
at the analytics. That's what you're
I
talking
do.
about.
I do. Yeah. Analytically, he was bad this year.
Oh.
Except for like the first 7 games, he was good. Which I guess we cancel that
He's
out.
great on face-offs, which is something we need.
That is
badly.
true.
That is something I did notice.
And
that
we
we
do
were
know-
losing the face-offs.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
his
the
game
series.
when his game is on, he is great.
Yeah, he was amazing in his playoffs last year, but he won't be amazing in the playoffs this year.
Because he won't be
He won't
playing
play.
because of that suspension.
That's a tough 8 game suspension.
Yeah, that's a little excessive. In my opinion. It was a bad hit, but come on.
8 games.
Come on now.
This is a long time.
Yeah.
Tonight's games, we have Penguins game 5. Another Canadians Leafs game. Leafs.
Let's go Habs.
Absolutely. We got Lightning Panthers. Tampa looking to advance tonight. They're up 3-1. Jets Oilers. Winnipeg looking to sweep that series. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
They have no
McDavid
business.
still doesn't even have a point.
No,
I
he
think.
got 3. He got 3 assists.
Oh, he
last night.
did.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Because they should have won that game last night. I don't know if you did you see any of it? Or?
Yeah, I watched the beginning.
Yeah.
They
Well, the
were-
end was nuts.
Yeah.
Because the Oilers were leading by 3 in the 3rd period, and the Jets came back and won into overtime.
That's awesome. I'm not. Winnipeg doesn't deserve to win a playoff series,
No, they don't.
let alone a playoff game.
Oh my God, the Oilers just continue to be a dumpster fire, but sort of, not really. But, and then Golden Knights Wild. Vegas looking to move on as well, which
Winner wants to take on the Avs.
they do. That's always been a series that we've known was going to happen. I feel like
Mhm.
the Avs Knights, but
Didn't know if it was gonna be first or second round, but we knew it would happen.
yep, and that would be fun.
It's gonna be.
I'm worried.
It's
as a
gonna be.
Avs
I'm gonna be a
fan.
nervous wreck
Yeah.
in those games.
Yeah, because they're definitely good enough to beat us.
I think other than the Avalanche, they're the best team
Yeah, yeah.
in the NHL.
It's basically a finals matchup.
Yeah.
And after that, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's really wild. But hey, I mean, Dallas beat them in the playoffs last year. So
Yeah. Well, that was also beat us in the playoffs.
they did beat us in the playoffs. Should've done
That was
more.
terrible.
That was awful. Kitty rat tackle.
Oh my God.
3 goals in the game 7.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean I think it'll be a fun series between the Avs and the Knights.
Yeah.
It's just good hockey. As like a hockey fan, you're sort of hoping for that to happen, but you're also scared the entire time.
Yeah.
All right, I think that'll
That'll do it for the 3rd episode of the IR Guys. Thanks for tuning in and join us next time.